Hello, Gman10F. How's it going, guys? This is pretty much the final normal recap of the season. There may be a couple of special recaps coming in the next couple of weeks, but we will talk about them at the end. I am, of course, Full Metal, and I am joined once again by McNugget.
Hello, Division 10F. Good to be here again.
I am looking forward to seeing how this panned out. Now, you can see a bunch of people have already dropped. There's a couple of games, one that's not confirmed, which we'll have to look into after this recap. There's one that wasn't played, which we'll have to chase down after this recap. So thank you for that, for chucking a little bit of work for us at the end. Very much appreciated. We can't really talk about those four teams when we summarise the teams as well, but we'll worry about this in a minute. There's a couple of things that jump out, but look at the Rat Rebel versus Rebel Vikings. Holy moly.
That was Agi gone wild, I think is the term.
How many touchdowns do you want in a game? How does 10 sound? It sounds pretty good. Crystal Hunter finally getting some SPP on his rats.
Now, if I remember correctly, this result was done when we did last week's recap, and we deliberately didn't speak about it.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it too much. But let's just say, that's 18 SPP just from touchdowns, and I know he also hurt some players quite badly. So
I think Crystal Hunter showing that he may as well get more SPP in his final division game than he did in the 10 previous league matches combined.
I didn't need SPP. Now I do. I will take SPP. Very Harem with a big old 3-0 as well. That's a thing.
Yeah, big win for Keith Carr. I think he was definitely known that he needed the win this season. I remember there was a few teams in the top 3 or 4 places, so a lot of it we were saying must-win games for some teams. So Keith Carr coming up big on the win when he needed it.
Well, it does mean that, of course, Keith Carr and Fairy Harem are one of this division's play-in representatives. The other being the man below him, Contract Killers. Now, I am a little bit concerned for the poor old Tabitellers because they got beaten by the Contract Killers 1-0, which potentially means there was some damage in there too.
Hopefully, Bernie lived up to his name.
And one of the results that I was a little surprised by when it came from the bot report, only Fools and Hobgoblins coming through 1-1 from the stars. That pretty much putting the final nail in Noru's season turned it. Basically, he had such a great, strong season, and it just dipped that little bit at the end, unfortunately.
Yeah. I think Noru was definitely one of those coaches that was the front runner for the first 3 or 4 weeks.
He was an early threat.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if it was a case of games that were draws could have been wins and couldn't push, or losses instead of draws, but the other coaches kind of, I don't know if they just showed their experience.
Yeah, but then again, Noru has played quite a while. He's an older Rebel coach. He's been with us for a long time, so maybe he just gassed himself out before he could get the distance. Now we can't talk about Tommy Wiseau's team because it hasn't played the match. We are going to talk about Crystal Hunter's team because look at it. What the heck is that? He got tail on a gutter runner. I actually really like it. He's got blodge. I'm 50-50 because it could have been guard and you could have had blodge step guard. But blodge step tail seems deliciously infuriating.
That just seems, I'm going to hug the ball carrier and let's see what you're going to do, Mr. Elf.
And you know what? Dive and tackle next level. Dive and tackle next level on top of tail. Just to make him the most irritating player in the world.
Yep, because that's a 6+ for an elf to dodge out.
Oh, it is a flaw.
The most impressive thing, though, I thought, for all the crap that I've given him crap for 10 weeks about not scoring on his Storm Vermins, and he goes and does it, and they both roll claw.
Yes, that's such a good place to be in. It's like, but it sucks because at the same time, getting 10 SPP and 8 SPP on a player with just block and claw, not as easy as you might think. That being said, having got the double out of the way, you only need normals for the rest of their levels now.
Exactly, and of course, his best player in position 13 living up to its name.
I love how I leveled before you did on this team. I'm just going to point that out. I leveled before you did.
But I'm an zero SPP legend. My role is not to level.
The only fly potentially in the ointment for Crystal Hunter here was that singular. Can you see the spot? There's a notably missing player in this list. Somewhere between 5 and 7 that may have once been a gutter runner and is now an empty space and a memory.
to be fair, a recycled gutter runner is just an excuse to roll plus movement.
Well, look, he's got 3 really good gutter runners. So frankly, like, it's okay. Just keep recycling it till it gets plus move, and you complete your set at that point, don't you?
Yes, exactly, and that's what you like to see.
I think we've given him so much grief, but Crystal Hunter came good, and actually has a team that has great potential for next season now.
Well, for planes, potentially
not
when
planes,
you look at the
Swiss.
leaderboard.
Swiss.
But I thought we might build it up a bit. Like
No,
we don't
I've
know
already
yet.
said.
You
I
just
said
don't-
I said it at the beginning when we looked at the schedule.
I don't listen to you, to be
Hey,
fair.
look at this team. Tabar Tellers, JP Casey came through unscathed versus Bernie the Team Killer, and they have such a good team.
They do indeed. They have a lot of blodge, which is lovely to see on a Dark Elf team. And
I mean, this is why you take Dark Elves, right? Because it's like 6 SPP on 6 players, and I've got Blodge on 6 players.
exactly, and then you hope for a few doubles. Now they've rolled doubles in the right places, so obviously you've got a guard lineman which you want. 6 SPP, you really want to get him to block, then dodge as well, just for a bit of protection. But
I kind of like dodge then block personally, but that's
it's
my
a preference.
preferred route.
We've argued over this long enough before. We don't want this to turn into a Bernie and Crystal Hunter recap, which goes on for 5 hours. But no, he's definitely they've rolled the doubles where they want them, and they've got some witch elves that just need a bit of leveling. Yes, as Metal just fannies about in the background there.
Someone's shouting at me because they don't have their Rebel mug yet that won from a prize. It's like, it takes about 2 weeks. It's coming, I promise. Anyway, no, JP Casey's done great. This team and them as a coach, I think they're in a great spot, I think, to represent this team in Swiss. And we'll talk about that. But also, next season,
threat next season,
yeah. This has season 2 doing really good, like written all over it, this team. Alright, let's have a look what's next. Speaking of teams that I think are going to be a threat next season, look at this one. It's good. It's a really good Necro team.
It has that fabled Mighty Blow Claw that Chubstep's been crying over for 3 seasons.
He still needs to cycle his guard white, though.
He does. Yeah.
This is the best time. It's already missing for the next game. Just fire it. You've got the money in the bank. Hire a rookie white. Please, Noru. Please.
Yeah. You're going to get 2 Swiss games, and that's the time when you, for the whole division, really, if there's a player that's niggled or is needing replaced, this is the time to do it. You replace them, and you get 2 free games almost in the Swiss to try and get some levels on them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's definitely. Although I must say, the fact that Old Hag is in lowercase is tilting me beyond belief, and I hope it does the same to Noru, because it's the only one that's not capitalised.
Ouch. Right, moving on. Oslo Snake Club.
Now.
Oslo Snake Club. I love their Strength 5 Black Orc, by the way. It's so good. But this is a team. I think it needs a little bit longer in the oven. Like some of the teams we're looking at, going, this is definitely a threat. Now this team, with a couple more levels, could really be a threat, but it just needs those last couple of levels.
It needs block on the Black Orcs to survive next season, because you will start facing teams with Claw and Mighty Blow and some more guard than what you've got. I just think those Black Orcs need to start getting a level in and getting some block.
He has, to be fair, got 4 guard though, which is quite nice.
He does, but most teams next season will probably have at least 4 guard as well, and maybe a bit more. If they're a bash team, they'll probably have some more kill skills in there as well.
True. I mean, so, it's still, he's got the potential, I think. It's not.
Oh, definitely.
It's not
a bad team by far.
Oh god.
It's just.
Oh god.
He's a few more levels.
Have you seen what happened to Rarimbo's Orcs?
Were these also played Keith? Oh.
They had a bad day.
This maybe explains the 3-0 scoreline.
It probably does. Now the troll is a weird one. It's a weird bug because if you click, it says it's injured, but if you click on it, it doesn't have the red injury tag, and I know why that is. It's because it took a minus agility, and obviously you can't have agility 0, but you still take the MNG, but it bugs out. So it's not as bad as it looks because every missing player is an MNG.
Yes. And again, Swiss is the perfect time to deal with those MNGs.
Yes. Get them back.
The players that are MNG, apart from the Black Orc on 0 SPP, they're not really ones that you were probably going to rush to level in the Swiss.
No, the ones...
So
you've actually got 2 Black Orcs, 1 on 4 and 1 on 14, which are the actual priorities
targets
for leveling anyway, yeah.
Yeah. So that's not terrible, and it does mean that you can focus on those 2 Black Orcs to get them leveled. So yeah, it definitely... This is an Orc team that I'd say is what you need to get your team to for next season. You know, there's a lot of block on the Black Ops. It's missing the guard, so it does need to pick up that guard for next season and early on in next season.
But those leveling those Black Ops would help.
Yeah, yes, definitely.
Right. Contract Killer's Bernie Buffon.
Bernie, the team killer Buffon, yes.
He is, of course, the representative for this division alongside Keith Carr.
No, he's not. He's getting banned for what he took on the bull. I don't care, Metal. I'm banning him.
I think, by the by, I'm pretty sure he mentioned that Mercy Flush also rolled a double, but he had to listen to us and take block instead of another diving tackle.
Well, he should have listened to me more and not taken diving tackle.
Apparently, he also claims diving tackle won him the game to get into planes. So I can't argue too much with that. If he won the game off that, yeah, well, you would.
I can. Winning one game does not win you next season, Bernie. Or a playoff.
Yeah, you know what? When it gets block and stand firm and break tackle, it'll be terrifying. In about a year.
It's just this year. But no, he is starting to rack up some kills. So the Shodinator getting that Mighty Blow pylon. I'm not sure if I had that last time.
I have to say, McNaughton is awesome. He's still on 5 out of 6 SVP. And Full Metal getting it done is not getting it done still. So, I mean... We'll not talk about that. But we're going to be seeing more of this team because it will definitely be streamed in its next game. And Bernie, as soon as you know when your game is, we need you to tell us so I can get that. I want to cover that game. So
yeah, me and Metal are trying our best to cover this division and the other division we recap your playing games.
Mm-hmm.
So the same goes for Keith Carr. So obviously, once you know when you're playing, and Bernie, if you could give me or Metal a ping, we will try our absolute best, depending on what time zones it is, to get on the cast for that as well, because we like to cheer you on not only in your divisions but now in playing. So
yes, and oh god, the Vikings. Has anyone got a pair of crutches for this team? Because they're so hurt.
It's still a team though.
But it's not. It's a war dancer. And we have had times.
That's all you need though.
In Rebel where one war dancer has carried a team, but it's rare. I don't know what to say. I'd love to provide Hargrim with some sage advice, but I think the sage advice might be get through the Swiss and re-roll, mate. Because I don't know if Floki is enough to carry this team, especially because
enough.
You definitely have to fire at least 3 of your linemen.
That's okay. Just natural selection.
If you need some advice, Hargrim, feel free to reach out to me in PMs. I do play a lot of Wood Elves, but I think the kind of advice you need is far too long-winded for this recap.
Yes.
So I can't really do much there. Now, Angry Altma, we can't talk about them because their game is the one that isn't played. Arrogant Bar Stewards isn't confirmed, so we can't really talk about the team there either. We're going to jump out to Only Fools and Hobgoblins, who did lose.
No. Metal.
What?
I can't remember if they did this the last time, but they've got the thing I don't like.
What have they got? The thing that you don't like? Oh, it's the Bull Ball Carrier?
Yeah.
If you're going to use a bull as a ball carrier, that's a pretty good bull ball carrier, though, isn't it?
No, it's not.
No, I'm saying if you're going to make that play line, that's how you do it.
It doesn't have agility. It's a really expensive thrower.
A really expensive, really fast thrower.
With plus strength. It's an expensive. I'll give a thrower sure feet and sprint, and it'll still be cheaper and more effective. But this is a nice first season Choff team. I think that's an MNG.
It is just an MNG. I have checked.
Yeah. It's double dirty players looking good. It's a team well suited for the Swiss and next season. Mm-hmm. Salmon, of course, when we look at the leaderboard, had quite the run at the end of the season. We'll see by their
kind of settled into his team a bit more towards the end, didn't he?
Got in a good rhythm. I'm looking at the Swiss for them, and I'd like to see the 3 rookie Chors try and level up a bit. So one is a Kazaway, and I'd like to try and see maybe a handoff, if possible, on those bottom 2 Chors, just to try and get some more levels on the team, because as good as Chors are, they do need to kind of get some levels for them next season, just so that they can fight a bit more with the developed teams that you'll be facing.
True. Now moving on,
can't win
talking
your
about
games.
fighting. Talking about fighting, it's our other representative from this division, Keith Carr, in Plains.
Fighting harem.
The fighting furry harem.
Aye.
I don't know what more to say about this team that we haven't already said. I don't think it really particularly developed in its 3-0 win, but it did go 3-0. So, you know, it did the business, really.
I'm thinking the only change could be Debs. It is
Got
sitting at
strip
16
ball, I
SPP.
believe, yeah.
Yeah, it's sitting at 16 SPP. So, having not seen the game,
I'm
looking at the
disappointed on
level,
his behalf, though, that Rhea 2 didn't get that level, because had that got sprint before his playing match, would have been a whole different beast, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And you're looking at stuff like Sally being one cast away from, I don't know, because it's got agility 4, but pile on.
I don't know what's happening next. It's going to be... no, I actually kind of do. It's tackle. It's pretty much claw on a double, tackle on a normal. Because at least then you can kind of break away from fights and run, dodge out and target down like agility
You're
players.
not stuck based up. But no, apart from that, it is a Skaven team that is really... No, it's got the one turner. That's all you really need is the real
Keith
argument.
He's a very aggressive... I've played Keith a couple of times with Rats in Clan, and I can tell you he's a very aggressive Skaven coach. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can bring towards the planes on the big stage.
And 13 players, so that's a big bench.
That's a nice place to be in as Rats, yeah. Now, flicking over the leaderboard, you can see how close it was in the end. Crystal Hunter literally only losing out by 2 points. And both Keith and Bernie, their positions being determined by tiebreakers as well. So that's how close the final run at the table was for those 3 coaches. Everyone got a win, which is a really nice place to be in. It's nice when it's nice to not have everybody somebody lose every game or draw.
Yeah.
So that's a benefit. Now, we are going to talk now what happens next. So for Keith and Bernie, they're off to Plains. They are representing your division. They're representing 10F, and they're taking, them to the big stage to see if they can make it to playoffs. Obviously, they're doing it for themselves as well, but you have to believe that part of them are doing it to show everyone how good 10F is a division. What the rest of 10F can do to prove how good 10F is as a division is the Swiss tournament that's coming up. There's 2 games left of your season, people, so take the tickets you have been sent. What happens next is you play 2 random opponents over the next 2 weeks, 1 each week, and for every win that you get, it adds 3 points to your division's total. For every draw, you get a point. For every loss, you get nothing. But nothing. But what we do is we calculate all of the points for each division, 10A to 10G, and whichever division has the most points, all 12 coaches from that division will receive a trophy on Rebel.net in your trophy cabinet to say, we were the pride of G-Man this season. We were the best G-Man-led division. And it's really kind of just like, to keep the Swiss interest and make sure it does obviously stay competitive rather than just people trying to farm SPPs. You can still try and do that, but, you've got to remember that all 12 of your coaches, including Keith and Bernie, will receive this reward. So you're not just playing for you, you're playing for the other 11 people in your division as well, every game. I'm excited to see how it pans out.
Yes, and see how you all fail to beat Division 10A.
10B.
No, I'm in 10A.
I'm in 10B.
Yeah,
Although I'm in a really lucky spot because I'm sat there going, well, if 10B wins, I get the trophy. But I feel like I'll get a moral victory if 10A or 10F wins. So I'm really spreading my chips across the table a little bit here.
Yeah, but you don't get a trophy for moral victory.
Oh, well, I could probably persuade Harry Zod.
He is the hardest working man in Rebel, after all.
Right. But that being said...
yeah, I'm sure Metal's going to want to join me in saying a big thanks to Division 10F.
Absolutely, it's been a genuine pleasure. I've loved the jokes and the memes and there's a lot of personality came out of the division, and I've genuinely enjoyed being part of it and recapping it. So thank you very much for the season. It's been fantastic. I hope you've enjoyed the recaps. I know we've enjoyed doing them.
Yes, definitely. And if there's any questions just obviously regarding things, you can still drop me a Metal a message. But no, it has been a really fun season. We've really enjoyed, as Metal said, recapping your divisions and obviously giving Bernie the team killer Buffon and Crystal Hunter the Crystal non-SPP hunter some abuse, but they've taken a good stead, and we do hope you all enjoy the Swiss and your next seasons in Rebel.
And the off season as well is coming soon as well. So
I do.
seriously, guys, get out there and prove that you are the best letter division. You're not, but sorry, that's 10. No, I'm sure you are. But thank you very much for the season. We will catch you on the flip side. Thank you, McNugget, for recapping.
Thank you again. Yes.
You all stay classy now, folks. I know you will.